Good morning. Today is the day after Thanksgiving, and today's my birthday. And all I want in the whole wide world today is to make a video. It's been over a year since I've posted a video. I feel like I've aged 5 years this year. My creativity.exe got deleted. Like, I felt completely petrified and unable to run the program. I couldn't make art if my life depended on it. And I'm trying to thaw that slowly and graciously and kindly. And I have so many thoughts, and I kind of don't know where to start. My husband is singing in the kitchen while he makes breakfast, but I think we should start today by moving our bodies a little bit. One of the things that I've been trying to work on to make my brain a better place to be and be kinder to myself is expectations, especially around productivity. I think that, the expectation to constantly be hustling and grinding and all that stuff, it just hasn't been working for me, and I'm just mean to myself about it. I set really unrealistic expectations for what I think I should be doing for the day, and then beat myself up when I don't meet the unrealistic expectations, and then it just creates this really vicious cycle where the shame voice in my head is like the point of attempting anything, because you know you're not going to follow through. So I'm trying to scale way back on goals and expectations and just baby steps, and just like I'm really working on rebuilding my confidence in myself of my ability to do things.
And that's where the realistic part comes into play, because I could say I want to repave the driveway today, but that's not going to happen.
Right.
It has to be achievable, and you have to have time to do what you actually want to do as well, so you feel balanced.
Exactly. And how are you supposed to succeed if you're not setting yourself up for success?
Yeah, you got to prep, do the thing, chill, because if all you do is focus on the stuff you have to do, you're never going to have fun, and you're just going to be stressed and sad all the time.
Right.
More to life than being productive.
Exactly. I love that. So I've been trying to ask myself 3 questions every morning. I'll even physically write them down in my journal, but we're just going to chat about it today. The first question is it's the passive. It's the, what do I want to do today? What sounds fun? What sounds good? What is my gut telling me would be fun to do today? So what I want to do today is, I don't know, I just kind of want to hang out and putt around the house and just see what sounds fun. I'm open to maybe making some art, maybe cleaning.
It's also her birthday, so she can do whatever she wants today.
Exactly. So I'm really just trying to touch into that intuition and touch into that want part of my brain, and just be I don't know. So we'll just kind of see where the day takes me. What do you want to do today?
I want to get you coffee and do the best I can to make sure you have a good day.
You're so sweet.
I would like to clean my firearms and put them away. That's about all I got.
Yeah.
So those 2 things.
That
Easy peasy.
Good. Easy peasy. The next question is your active. It's your masculine. It is the, what do you need to do today? What is your productive thing to do today? But you get to pick one. And mine's pretty boring because I want to have the fun day today. And I need to water my plants. That's it. That's the only requirement. I need to water my plants today. What is your need today?
I need to clean the bathroom today.
Okay.
Boy things, you know.
Boy things. And then the last one is your neutral question, and it's, how can God bless you today? And I really try to ask God, and this is just my personal, you know, I don't want to ask God to do the things for me. I want to ask God to show me how to do the things. I just need some clarity and direction and inspiration. I'm not asking God to do the work for me. God can bless me today by helping me touch into that intuitive part of myself, and that, like, what do you want? What does Maddie want? Because I think I've really tuned out that part of myself where my needs and my desires come from. I've really turned the volume down on her, and I'm trying to be like, hey, it's okay, like, it's safe, you can tell me what you want. So I think God can help me with that today. How can God bless you today?
God can bless me by being patient with people as I drive around. People don't know how to drive.
God bless us with patience as we navigate town on Black Friday.
Yeah.
I kind of just threw myself together to get up and go get coffee and run into town, so now we're gonna properly get ready. The beginning of this year, one of the most notable changes, one of the most notable mistakes that I made, I'll be honest, is I quit taking my SSRI cold turkey. That was the problem. I am not qualified or, you know, not a medical professional, so I don't want to speak for anybody else's experience. I'm not speaking on what's best for you. Just for me personally, I like being off the medication. I feel like I have a broader spectrum of emotions. My capacity for joy is more than it was. I do feel like it was numbing. My capacity for sadness and depressive episodes is definitely increased as well, but you know, you got to take the pleasure with the pain. But just doing it cold turkey was not the move. Do not recommend. Do all of your medication changes under the supervision of a medical professional, please. But I survived, and I have spent the last, how old am I? 4 or 5 years on Nexplanon, which is the implant in your arm hormonal birth control. And so I took it out and I swapped for the non-hormonal copper IUD. The point being, I did those things around the same time, and so just my hormones and my chemicals and my body and my emotions were just kind of crazy. And I was going through a lot of changes. I'm still getting to know my hormones and the way that my body operates. So that kicked off the year on kind of a difficult note. I stopped making art. I stopped have any desire to do anything creative, because anytime I sat down in front of the camera to film or in front of a canvas to paint, I was completely engulfed in fear. Even talking about it is hard. It's hard because my creativity and my art has always been the cornerstone of who I am as a person, and to not only lose touch with that, but to have it be polluted by fear has been really, really, really fucking hard. I started therapy because I had patterns and behaviors that I didn't like. And I went to my therapist and I was like, I want to be different. What different looked like to me was those really unrealistic expectations. And what different looked like was perfect discipline and perfect decision-making skills. And I thought that that's what a healthy person looked like. I thought a healthy person was flawless. And I thought that my flaws meant that I was unhealthy. The crux of the issue is not that I'm not good enough, and it's not that something's wrong with me. The crux of the issue is I am brutal. to myself. I am so unkind to myself. And so my goals at the beginning of the year were be better. And it was this very like outward presentation of what better was. It was eat better, it was exercise better, it was be more disciplined, it was be more emotionally regulated. I needed to be better out here. And that was completely changed. And now the work that needs to be done is being better in here. It's being kinder to myself. Welcome to my office. It is in a state. My office is always in a state. Absolute, unbridled, unlawful, ungovernable chaos in here. And I would like to have it be less chaotic. How am I supposed to make art when I don't want to go into the room where my art supplies live? So my intention is to create a space where I want to be. I want the vibes to be delightful in here. For my birthday, I'm gonna clean. And honestly, that sounds great. I'm very, very excited about that. Let it begin. You're crazy. Let's throw some shit away. I went to therapy really hoping for a diagnosis, right? And so I wanted someone to give me a diagnosis because it felt like a permission slip. A diagnosis was a permission slip to feel different, to be different. In reality, I didn't need a diagnosis. I just needed to accept where I was at and accept my challenges and accept my struggles. I don't think that the solution was cracking open the DSM-5 and being like, oh yeah, here's your label. The solution was just meeting myself where I was at and being like, you are a unique human with a unique set of challenges. These are your challenges. Let's figure out what we need to do. You don't need a permission slip to accept yourself. So you might as well just accept and be like, yeah, it's gonna be harder for me to do this thing than my sister, my partner, my roommate, everybody else on the internet. But I'm gonna meet life on life's terms, and I'm gonna do it nonetheless, and I'm just gonna do it the way that I need to do it. What's going on up here doesn't change the rules out here, so I just need to make it work for me. And I don't need a diagnosis to give me permission to do that. If you've never been in a hot spring before, it zaps you. I am so tired, but the one thing on my active need list this morning was to deal with this unhinged pile of laundry that I've been avoiding. That is the one thing. So I read a study recently that was published in 2020, I think, and this study measured some activity in the human brain. They posit on average we have 6,000 thought transitions per day. A big part of the reason that I was so like really, really got into a bad place when it came to my self-esteem and my trust in myself, and, you know, thinking that I had like ADHD or feeling like something was wrong with me, is because I had the misguided expectation that all of the thoughts had to be winners. Every thought that I had, I would judge myself, right? So the thought would come in, the dialogue would happen like, get a grip. You should have better control of yourself. You shouldn't have thoughts like that, whether it was mean or freaky or judgmental or distracted or whatever. If it wasn't some super helpful, insightful, you know, thought, I would judge myself. I've been trying to practice this, like taking a bird's eye view of my thoughts and just observing them and not judging all of them. Thoughts that I would call intrusive, at one point, I can kind of categorize them and be like, oh, this part of my brain is reacting right now. Helps me not feel so bad about them. I imagine like clouds on the horizon when there's a little bit of a breeze. Like the clouds will just kind of drift into frame and then drift back out. And so when I have a thought that is, you know, out of pocket, I'll kind of take a step back and be like, Maddie is having a thought right now, and that's it, period. And if our thoughts are like clouds, we don't tell clouds, you would be better if you just tried harder. You would be better if you just got a hold of yourself. They're just clouds. They're just thoughts. 6,000 thoughts a day. Not all of them have to be winners. I was judging myself against this own standard that I created. And if it's a bullshit standard that I just invented out of thin air, I can change it whenever I want. So instead of judging myself for my reactions, just taking stock of where they're coming from and having compassion for the part of me that had to build those defense mechanisms at one point. Good morning, good afternoon. It is very cold outside, but I'm trying to get some sunshine in my eyes nonetheless. Hopefully the road noise isn't too bad, but I was struggling this morning. I woke up and I was pissed that I was awake, and you really have to test your mettle when you feel like shit, and that's when it's hard. And so just simplifying things and making easy tools that are easy to access to do a little damage control, to not let waking up on the wrong side of the bed completely ruin your day. My priority wasn't to solve the problem and make it go away. My priority was just like damage control, right? It was like, okay, you know that you feel like shit. Let's try to not snap at will. You know that you feel like shit. Let's try to not eat something garbage for breakfast. One of the biggest things that unexpectedly ended up being a game changer for like my nervous system is moving slower. And I don't mean like, oh, slow down and smell the roses. No, I mean like literally moving slower. Walking slower is brushing my teeth slower, writing slower when I'm taking notes and journaling, talking slower. And I think that my body was like so used to being in fight or flight that we're always like, we gotta go, we gotta hurry, something's wrong, we gotta get this done, we gotta move on to the next thing. And I was creating this sense of panic, and then I would be dysregulated, I'd be flustered, and that's when I would be forgetful, right? And it really just boils down to like being intentional and being mindful. Stop generating urgency out of nowhere. Stop generating unnecessary urgency for yourself. And I think that you will be pleasantly surprised with how much it helps. after it's all said and done today, I still don't feel great. I feel discouraged. I have the Sunday scaries. I feel them deep in my bones. I'm daunted. All of the limiting voices in my head are screaming, delete it, burn it down, turn it off, nobody fucking cares, it's stupid. But I have to see this through. And it feels lame and like a bummer to end this video on kind of a negative note, but I think it's very realistic. You know, you put in the work and you do everything that you can right. Just keep taking the next right step, and it doesn't always work. Healing isn't linear. It's not like you wake up one day and go, I'm gonna be better, and crack the code, and then you never have to experience uncomfortable emotions anymore. That's not how it works. And all of the growth and insight and shifts in perspective that I've been feeling the last year, and the last couple months especially, are so nuanced, and I'm only beginning to start to understand them. I feel like I could write an entire book on it, so trying to translate my thoughts into words and cram them into a video doesn't do it justice, but I need to start somewhere. So sorry for ending on a little bit of a bummer, but this is real life and it's okay. And I'm not gonna lie to you and pretend that I have my shit together and that everything is perfect. So thank you for hanging out with me the last couple of days. Hopefully you learned something. I really, really, really appreciate you being here. Like and subscribe and all that shit. Thanks.